Hi, and thank you for joining me today. Today is Sunday, January 5th, 2025, and we are here for our daily reading of the Bible as we go through the Day by Day Kids Bible written by Karen Henley. If you are keeping track on your daily calendar, you will now have the option to use the corrected calendar, as I found that I made a mistake on the calendar and found today when I went to go put my 5 on that the 5 was not where it was supposed to be. So I don't know how I did that. I thought the calendar looked great. I just didn't notice it. But thankfully, God provided us with removable stickers. And these stickers I noticed when I first started trying them out. When I placed them on my calendar initially, I checked to make sure, just to see if they were easy to remove or not. So thankfully, they were easy to remove because sometimes we put them down and we go, oh, that's not where I want it to be. It's a little crooked. And we don't want it to rip the paper. But it doesn't. God is good all the time. And He provided us with removable stickers. I'm very thankful for that. So, sorry about that correction needing to be made on the calendar for today. So let's start in. We have January 5th's reading where we are going to read about Abram rescuing his grandson Lot because he was captured. And we will also read about how Sarai is trying to build a family in her own way, since she is aging and she is getting a little impatient for this son that God says He is going to provide for her. So today's title selection is called War, and it comes to us from Genesis 14 and 15. Now 4 kings got their armies together. They went to war against 5 other kings. One of the 5 kings was the king of Sodom. They all marched out to the Dead Sea Valley. It was 4 kings against 5, and the 4 kings were winning. The men in the army of Sodom began to run away, but the valley was full of tar pits. Some of the men fell into the tar pits. Some men ran into the hills. Then the 4 kings went into the city of Sodom. They took away anything they could find. They even took the food and some of the people. They took Lot and his family too. But one person got away, and he ran to Abram and told him what had happened. Abram got 318 men together. They were all good fighters. They chased the armies of the 4 kings. Night came. Abram put his men in different groups. They fought the armies of the 4 kings. They saved Lot and his family and many other people. And they even saved the things that the army had taken. Then they started home. The king of Sodom met Abram in the king's valley. Another king met Abram too. He was the king of Salem. He was a king who worshiped God. He set out bread and wine for Abram. Then the king of Salem prayed for Abram. He said, God Most High is the maker of heaven and earth. He gives his riches to Abram. So worship God Most High. He has saved you from your enemy. Abram took one of every 10 things he got from the war. He gave them to the king of Salem. The king of Sodom told Abram, just give me back my people. You can keep everything else. No, said Abram. I promised God I wouldn't take anything that was yours. I won't even take a string, not even a tie from your shoe. I'll only take what my men ate. Sometime later, God told Abram, don't be afraid. I am your guard. Good things will come to you. Why give me anything? Asked Abram. I don't have any children, and when I die, my servant will get everything I own. No, said God, that is not how it will be. You will have a son. Then God took Abram outside. Look up at the sky, God said. Count the stars if you can. That's how many people will be in your family someday. Abram believed God, and that made everything right. between Abram and God. Then Abram gave some animals to God as a gift. That made God happy. Abram and Sarai did not have any children, but Sarai had a servant named Hagar. So Sarai told Abram, "Take my servant to be another wife for you, and when she has a baby, it can be my baby." Abram did what Sarai asked. He let Hagar be his wife too. One day Hagar found out she was going to have a baby. Then Hagar began to hate Sarai. Sarai told Abram, "You are the one to blame. I let Hagar be your other wife. Now she hates me." "She is your servant," said Abram. "You can do whatever you want with her." From then on, Sarai was mean to Hagar. So Hagar ran away. But God's angel found Hagar. She was out in the desert by a road. And the road was near a place where water came out of the ground. "Where did you come from, Hagar?" asked the angel. "Where are you going?" "I'm running away from Sarai," said Hagar. The angel said, "Go back to her. Keep being her servant. You will have children, and they will grow up and have children. Someday there will be people, many people, in your family, and no one will be able to count them." The angel also said, "Your baby will be a boy. Name him Ishmael, because God has heard how sad you are. Ishmael will be like a wild donkey. He will fight with everyone." Then Hagar thought of a name for God. She said, "You are the God who sees me. Now I have seen the God who sees me." Hagar went back to Sarai, and she had a baby boy. Abram named him Ishmael. That was when Abram was 86 years old. A new name, Genesis 17. God came to Abram again when Abram was 99 years old. God said, "I am God Almighty. Do what is right." Abram bowed. He put his face toward the ground. God said, "You will not be called Abram anymore. Now your name will be Abraham, father of many nations. Nations will come from your family. Kings will come from your family. I promise to be your God forever. I promise to be the God of your family, and I give you the land of Canaan." Then God said, "Sarai's name will now be Sarah. She will have a son. She will be the mother of nations." Abraham laughed. "Will I have a son after I'm 100 years old? Will Sarah have a baby after she's 90? Maybe you can do these good things for Ishmael instead." "Sarah will have a son," said God. "Name him Isaac. My promise is for him and his family forever. But I hear what you say about Ishmael. I will do good things for him. He will have a big family too. But my promise is for Isaac." And that is the end of our reading today. So today we heard about how Abram kept his promise to God when he was offered more, just absolutely everything that the king of Sodom was going to give him. And Abram said, "Nope, can't do it. I made a promise to God, and I'm not going to take a single thing from you, only what my men ate." And so Abram was faithful to his promise to God. Abram is getting older, and he's seeing, I know God told me I was going to have a son, but I'm over 100 now. And so Sarai, she's thinking, I'm old. God said I was going to have a son, so she's thinking maybe I'm supposed to do something to help God out. And so she says, "I've got this servant, and here, make her one of your wives, and I'll have a baby through her." It's not unlike our idea today where we have what's called surrogate mothers when a woman or a man are unable to have a baby together and they have another woman carry their baby for them. And it is a kind of a form of adoption. So she was thinking she needed to help God out, kind of like how Abram thought he needed to help God out protecting himself when he was in Egypt. And he wanted Sarai to lie for him and say that she was his sister. So we see that once Hagar became pregnant and she was going to have a baby, that now she was very angry towards Sarai. She knew that this baby wasn't supposed to even be considered her baby. It was going to be Sarai's baby. And now Sarai is going, oh. So part of what this teaches us is that uh, God told Hagar, go ahead and go back. And when she ran away, and Hagar also obeyed. So everybody was kind of trying their best to obey God. But it's hard in our daily life, isn't it? To obey every little thing. And they were struggling with that. But she did obey. And when God came to Abram again, uh, Abram was surprised. He said, now am I going to have a baby now? I'm over 100. And God said, yep, gonna do it. And he said, it's not going to be through the baby that you had with Hagar. That is not Sarai's child. That is Hagar's child. So my promise is for your new son that you will have with Sarai, who is now Sarah, by the way, and she will name him Isaac. So God takes a while sometimes in our timeline, in our way of thinking, to fulfill his promises. But it is not for us to decide how soon or how long it should take for God to answer and uh, keep his promises. God says he's going to do something, he will do it. And it may not be in our timing, and we don't need to help him. He will do it. And sure enough, Sarah had a baby and named him Isaac. And we will read about that tomorrow. So I just wanted to give you those extra thoughts there on our reading today. Thank you for joining me. And if you are watching via YouTube, then please click that like button. And if you know of somebody who may be interested in these stories, then I encourage you to please share that with them and that we can grow this event. And if you are watching via the site, you are always welcome to join the event live. I host it every day, and I would love to see you there. If not, that's okay. The recordings will always be available on my site and on YouTube and on TikTok so that you can view them at your leisure throughout the day, whenever it is convenient for you. Doesn't matter what time, they will be there. And I would love to hear from you once you have viewed the recording so that I know that you have attended so that I can keep track for our giveaway for perfect attendance. Thank you to everyone who is joining me, and I am looking forward to reading with you again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Sunday.